Feels good. Let's pray. May the words of my mouth
and the meditations of our hearts be acceptable in your sight, O God, our strength and our redeemer.
For the past few weeks, we've been looking at the 24th chapter of the Gospel of Luke, the story of the walk to Emmaus. And in the story, two of Jesus' disciples are walking along the road, and they are joined by someone that they don't know, a stranger. And they journey with this stranger for some time, and when they reach their destination, they have a meal with him, and they recognize Jesus in the breaking of bread. They realize the stranger that has walked with them was Jesus. And last weekend, while we were rehearsing with the youth their sermon for Youth Sunday, which was amazing, by the way, I'm amazed at these Epworth youth. They're at home here, and I love that. I love that. But last week while we were rehearsing, I was thinking about this idea of walking alongside someone that you love and not recognizing them. I can't imagine that. And then, in a vision, I had a flashback to a time when I didn't recognize someone that I loved. I was in high school, and I was at a Halloween party. And at some point during the party, we were lined up in two lines facing each other to dance. And when it was your turn, you would join the person across from you, and you would dance down the aisle, down the line. And here I was, lined up across from this woman I had never seen before. She was wearing a Dolly Parton wig, and giant sunglasses, and a party hat. And when the time came, we partnered and danced down the line. And when we got to the end of the line, she grabbed me and hugged me. And suddenly I knew who it was. It was my very own Grandma Flo. In a blonde wig, giant sunglasses, and a party hat. You can't make this up. I didn't recognize her until she hugged me. She used to call her hugs Holy Ghost hugs. And you couldn't help but be moved by the Spirit when she hugged you. And when we began that journey down the line, we were strangers, as far as I knew. But by the time we got to the end, we were in perfect love. I couldn't have planned it or designed it. God works in mysterious ways. We don't always get to choose who our dance partner will be, or choose those who will journey with us. I probably wouldn't have chosen to dance with that woman in the Dolly Parton wig, but I'm so glad I did. There's potential for something powerful in the meeting of strangers. This past week, as terrible events unfolded in Boston and in Texas, strangers rescued one another, comforted one another, and transcended the role of nameless other. This demonstrates to me that at any moment, anywhere we are, strangers could suddenly become the most important people in our lives. Over time, as we journey together in Christian community, strangers become family. And I say family because that word encompasses the range of emotions that we will feel with each other over any length of time. And with this family, we engage in three types of activities: walking, worshiping, and wrestling. We walk together through life's hills and valleys, supporting one another, learning from each other, lifting each other up when we stumble. Some of us complain as we walk. Are we there yet? My feet hurt. I'm tired. And others seem to skip along this journey, sometimes as cheerleaders for the rest of us. But together we walk, and we worship together too. We bring our whole selves into this space. We offer ourselves to God through prayers and songs. opening our hearts to God's grace, being drawn toward wholeness and transformation. And we wrestle with the tough theological questions, existential questions, practical questions of life. We wrestle with each other, we disagree, but in the end we hug it out. And we say to each other, maybe I didn't choose you, but I'm so glad you're here. This afternoon, many Epworthians will join the Crop Walk, an annual fundraiser that is aimed at the alleviation of hunger. Funds and awareness will be raised, and this event is one of many outreach ministries of Epworth that address the topic of hunger. Last fall, our kids hosted a canned food drive. The Epworth youth have volunteered at the Alameda County Food Bank. And Epworth teams offer meals each week to men at the men's shelter, the homeless shelter in Berkeley. But the truth is that there are many organizations that do food drives and fundraisers and feed the homeless. Why is it that week after week we come to this place? What is it about coming together in this community that is so special, that's meaningful to us here? Feeding the hungry is deeply rooted in our Christian identity. Jesus fed people and ate with people, fished with people, drank with people. He talked about food so often, if it weren't for the wine, I'd think he was a Methodist. He taught his disciples to pray for our daily bread. And one of Jesus' last actions in community was to offer the ritual of communion. He said, as often as you do this, remember me. Was it because he thought that we'd forget him? Or was it that he knew that this community he had built would be sustained through its trials and tribulations so long as we continue to come to the table together, to look into the eyes of our brothers and sisters and to Christ? Growing up Pentecostal, we only took communion twice a year. To me, it always seemed so high church. I didn't really connect. And the spontaneous style of worship that I was used to, it seemed so rigid, and it just didn't hit me the same way. And it wasn't until several years later that I came to really appreciate communion. I was traveling cross country on a social justice bus tour, talking with conservative fundamentalist Christians about issues of social justice. And there were days after long hours of disagreement and exhausting conversation that we would take communion with those across the table from us. And I was reminded that as divided as we may feel, we're still one body in Christ. And there were places that we were not offered communion at all. I remember being in Central Texas after a series of difficult visits in the Deep South through Alabama and Mississippi. And we hadn't been offered communion by anyone in so long. And there was a Metropolitan Community Church outside of Abilene, Texas that opened its doors just to give us a place to rest and pray, and they offered us communion there. And I can't tell you what communion's worth after it's been denied. To suddenly be able to partake of the sacrament after fasting from it for so long, it was a profound blessing to me. It changed the way I thought about it, and I never again took it for granted. And we come to the table recognizing that there are many without food today. Andrea Beeler, a theologian, reminds us that we come to this table with our eating disorders, with our body image issues, with our diets. We come with the knowledge that our food chain is fragile, our farms are in trouble, genetically modified organisms are endangering our health and the environment. We come with the knowledge of worker justice issues around food. We come with our own worries and health concerns, fears and hurts. We seek fellowship and healing. Jesus said, remember me. When you drink from this cup and eat this bread, We look into the eyes of the other and see Christ. By communion, we're made one with those around us, those that journey with us. When we remember Christ, we remember who we are. In a strange and dangerous world, let us be mindful of the precious gift of life. Let's remember why we come together in community and why this community, why we've chosen these strangers to journey with. And let's celebrate what we have here. Over the past 2 years, communion has become one of my favorite things at Epworth. Not because we have better bread or grape juice than anywhere else, but because the Epworth kids come down the aisle first. And the kids know how to celebrate. They barrel down the aisle and grab fistfuls of bread and squash it in the cup. So excited to be here, and I think, yes, they get it. These are our role models. I want to be like that. When we take communion later in today's service, I invite you to notice how the kids approach this sacrament. Also notice who's journeying down the aisle beside you. Dance toward communion and greet one another with a Holy Ghost hug. Be prepared to see God. May it be so.
Amen.